This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you already know that, so why do we say it every day? Anyways, today's Thursday, November the 20th of 2025, day 324th of the year, and only 41 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, yes, that's what we do. We actually will streamer across the multiverse of things, no doubt about that, as things are going on. Anyways, how have you been? How are things? How has the last 24 hours or so been? Because it's always a good time when people are, hanging out with us and doing the stuff that we get to do. So let's start talking right away about some things. Our shows consist of safety in the news and safety. That's kind of how we do our stuff. We talk a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then we kind of go from there. So with that being said, I will bring in some professional broadcasters. They'll talk about what the hell's going on. And then I will give you a version of a main story. That is a version of a main story. And then we'll go through all of that stuff. If you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process on doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging will, move around. Do some stuff. Those are the options. I get a little prompter on the screen, and then I know exactly what's going on. Simplest thing to do if you're so enticed to do so. So there you go. Some stuff for sure as we are hanging out. So what do you think? Cool beans then is what we will say from that particular point on. So with that being said, why don't we do this? I don't know. Let's do something a little bit different here.
A positive mental attitude can clear away all obstacles which stand between you and your major purpose in life.
Actions, not mere words, determine the validity of a man's living philosophy.
But the other lesson of life that is rarely mastered is the art of fulfillment.
Okay, so it's Self-Help Thursday. You don't transform your life with one heroic burst of motivation. You do it by stacking tiny, boring wins until they snowball into identity. Improving 1% a day doesn't feel glamorous at first, but over months, it quietly rewires your expectations, habits, and self-belief. Build a system one new behavior, one new boundary, one new decision at a time. Small steps repeated become destiny. Well, the consistency principle would definitely be the source there, just in case you were wondering. So that's it. That's what I got for you under, self-help or self-help tip of the day. So with that being said, why don't we bring in our friends from Feature Story News, let them tell you about what the hell's going on that happened in the overnight as you were sleeping, and then we'll get everything moving and grooving, because that seems to be a good thing to do. No, like seriously, it seems like a good thing to do.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Do you know that I lost my mouse again, and I have no idea on why this thing keeps on doing that? Like, I have lost my mouse twice this morning. My mouse. And it never said that it needed to be charged. So now I'm sitting here going, I can't do all the clickers that I need to do because I'm mouseless at the moment. Isn't that interesting? Because I tell you, when it comes to live radio, we don't mess around here. When we mess up, it's a hardcore mess up. It's not a partial mess up. It's not one of these things that I go, oh yeah, that partially screwed up. When we're gonna screw it up, we're gonna screw it up to its finest levels. There is no doubt the level of screwing it up-ness that we run into. No doubt about that. So let's get into this now.
From Feature Story News in Paris, I'm Ross Cullen. US officials are in Ukraine on Thursday to discuss the Trump administration's latest plans to end the war. William Denslow reports from Brussels.
According to the US military, senior Pentagon personnel are in Ukraine are expected to meet with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Reports suggest that Washington's latest peace plan would include Ukraine making large territorial concessions in exchange for certain security guarantees. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio says a durable peace requires both sides to make difficult concessions. The EU's Foreign Affairs Chief Kaja Kallas says that a peace proposal will only work with Ukrainian and broader European support.
China has indicated it will ban all imports of Japanese seafood in what appears to be the latest salvo in an escalating diplomatic dispute between the two countries. Laura Westbrook is FSN's correspondent in Hong Kong.
Beijing has called on Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi to retract her remarks after she suggested Tokyo could take military action if Beijing attacked Taiwan. China claims Taiwan as its own to be reunited by force if necessary. And seafood is emerging as the latest pressure point after a regular press briefing from China's foreign ministry in which spokeswoman Mao Ning said even if Japanese seafood was exported to China, there was no market for it. Japanese media had earlier reported that China planned to ban seafood exports from Japan. Beijing has also urged its citizens to avoid travel to Japan and told students to reconsider studying there, citing safety risks. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
Afghanistan's Taliban trade minister has begun a 5-day visit to India. The minister is accompanied by a large business delegation as Kabul seeks to ramp up trade with India and diversify its imports away from Pakistan. Our South Asia correspondent Neha Punya has more.
This is the second high-profile visit by a senior-ranking Taliban minister to India in recent months. The trade minister will hold talks with the commerce minister as well as the foreign minister of India. Kabul is hoping to import grains, medicines and industrial goods from Delhi following the closure of its own border with Pakistan. It's also become reliant on the India-run Chabahar port in Iran for its international trade. Kabul's trade through that port has grown in recent months as its ties with Pakistan have soured. India has always had friendly ties with Afghanistan, but it does not recognize the Taliban government. However, New Delhi is ramping up its engagement with the current administration in Kabul because of its own tensions with Pakistan and as it competes with China for growing influence in Afghanistan. Neha Punya, New Delhi.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking in more detail today at this week's failure of Cloudflare that brought more chaos to a range of internet activities and popular apps. The chances are you've never heard of Cloudflare because it generally sits in the background of your internet activities, acting on behalf of clients like Elon Musk's X, Zoom, Spotify, and millions of other sites to prevent denial of service attacks that could bring those services to a crashing halt. halt. But on Tuesday, Cloudflare itself found its service failing in what the company called a significant outage after a configuration file designed to handle threatening traffic failed to do what it was supposed to do. Professor Alan Woodward is a security expert at the Surrey Centre for Cybersecurity.
The irony is quite large here. Their network is so important to all these other companies that there should be no single point of failure, but somehow looks like something's gone wrong internally. Their network just shouldn't have a single point of failure. So even if there's like an equipment failure, it should fail over to another piece of equipment. And you know the users shouldn't notice the difference.
Millions of websites were put at risk by the Cloudflare failure, which took about 3 hours to resolve. And like an outage at Amazon Web Services last month, it again revealed just how vulnerable the internet remains to technical failures, but also to potential attacks. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
And the top stories once more. EU foreign ministers are meeting in Brussels amid reported growing pressure on Ukraine to consider a secretive US-Russian draft plan to end the war. China has indicated it will ban all imports of Japanese seafood, the latest salvo in an escalating diplomatic dispute between the two countries. And Afghanistan is seeking Indian investment deals during the Taliban trade minister's visit to Delhi. From Feature Story News in Paris, this is Ross Cullen reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, that's how it goes for sure across the multiverse of things. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Thursday. No doubt about that. Let's start getting into some of the stuff that is going on inside of the multiverse. So let's start off with something weird, not anything that you would care about right away, but let's start talking about this. Amazon's rolling out the stress-free holiday cushion again. Yeah, an extended return window. Here's the gist of it. Holiday return windows. Most items bought between November the 1st and December the 31st can be sent back until January 31st of 2026, as long as they're in the original on-you shape, smooth, simple, and no drama. Exceptions always been the checks on to check the product page. Big example: Apple products bought during that period must be returned by January the 15th of 2026, not the 31st. Refund timing. Once Amazon or the third-party seller gets the item and approves it, the refund can take up to 30 days. Yes, long enough to regret buying it twice. So there you go. And no returnable stuff. Here you go. Some of the items that you bought, you have to keep them unless they're damaged or wrong. That includes perishables, anything that becomes health and safety risk once opens, items with shipping rules, customized items, redeemable goods, Amazon pharmacy and pet meds, automobiles. Yep. They sell those just in case, and final sell items. How to return? Go to your orders, hit return items, follow the prompts, and boom, you're done. Other retailers jumping in. Best Buy items bought through October the 31st to December the 31st. You have until January 15th of 2026. Also, Macy's purchases October the 6th through December the 31st are returnable until January the 31st. Some exclusions apply. Target holiday items bought from November the 1st to December the 24th have returns starting December 26th. Not a joke. And then Walmart's most purchases made between October the 1st and December the 31st can't be returned until January the 31st. Marketplace items definitely will defer. Yes, defer as we are talking. So what do you think? Just saying. Okay, so as we have always done on this show and we talk about some of the stuff, let's go through this. I always tell you that, we want this to be one of these things where you have information to cover with people that might be out of left field. And let's not lie here. Today will be one of those days as we are talking. So here's an interesting shower stat. About 66% of people admit that they do their best thinking in the shower. The remaining 34% are still trying to figure out shampoo to conditioner ratio. I don't fall into that category, just in case. The average shower lasts about 8 minutes, but people think that theirs lasts 5 minutes. We lie to ourselves every morning. Hot showers above 105 degrees can strip 50% of your skin's natural oils in under 10 minutes. Roughly 30% of people sing in the shower, and 90% of them shouldn't quit their day jobs. A standard shower uses about 2.1 gallons of water per minute. Long showers basically turn your bathroom into a tiny water park. The average person uses 3 different products in the shower. Women average about 5 products. Men average whatever bottle is the closest. About 57% of adults say showers is the only place they get me times. Parents put the number closer to 110% of the time. Also, cold showers can increase dopamine levels by up to 250%. That's basically a nature's version of triple espresso shot, just in case if you're trying to figure out some simple math there. Also, around 20% of people brush their teeth in the shower. Didn't know that was a thing. Multitasking or laziness disguises efficiency, however you want to do that. Also, the average person spends 6 months of their life showering. Some folks should probably tack on an extra week or so. And about 70% of people prefer showering at night in the winter, but only 45% to nighttime showers in the summer. I don't know. Just kind of one of those things that you have to think about.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
What do you think? I mean, I don't know. How is your showering issues? I mean, does it work out for you? Does that make sense? I think it's a good thing to talk about. Thing to talk about with people if you want to do that. I mean, it's to be like, hey, you want to hear some odd stuff today that I came up with? You can give them that. That will definitely be an interesting logger. In regards to something to talk about. No doubt about that. Okay, so where do we want to go today? Let's do this. Let's go into some information that is going on inside of the world of politics. A Michigan man named James Donald Vance Jr. unfortunately shares the same initials as the Vice President J.D. Vance, is headed to federal prison for threatening to kill the president and the vice president. And the 67-year-old pleaded guilty to 3 felonies after posting violent threats on Blue Sky, also targeting Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Secret Service agents tracked him down and arrested him in June. One of his posts warns that if the president and the vice president or Musk came to his city, that they'd leave in a body bag. He even shared a photo of a gun labeled anti-MAGA tool. Prosecutors noted that this wasn't one-time meltdown. He'd been investigated before for threatening the president back in 2018, and they said that he had a pattern of escalation rhetoric and push up to 37 months in prison. His attorney argued that he should get probation instead, citing serious health issues and traumatic childhood, saying that his posts were outrageous bluster, not actual plans. The judge didn't buy it. He got 2 years in federal prison. Don't understand why, number one, you want to take somebody else out. No point on that whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, hey, I don't want to go to the pokey for so long, so let's talk about that for a moment. So there you go. Anyways, a federal judge in Texas has hit the brakes on the state push to force public schools to display the 10 Commandments after Attorney General Ken Paxton ordered the district to post a religious text. Judge Orlando Garcia issued a preliminary injunction blocking the mandate, saying that it violates the First Amendment Establishment Clause. His ruling takes effect December the 1st. The case was brought by 15 families from the mix of religious and non-religious backgrounds who argue that the state was imposing religion on their kids. This is now the second time a court has rejected the law, which was assigned by Governor Greg Abbott earlier this year. Advocacy groups, including America's United and the ACLU, hailed the ruling, stressing that parents, not politicians, get to decide how and when their children encounter religion. They also said they noted that similar laws have already been have been struck down in Arkansas and Louisiana, and the legal experts say that the fight is probably headed to the Supreme Court. The judge's message was blunt: public schools are for education, not for government-sponsored religious display. Now, every Texas school district is officially on notice. Implementing the law violates students' constitutional rights. So we'll have to take a look at what the hell happens there. No doubt about that as we move forward. Let's talk about this because this has been making some of the news cycles for sure as we're talking. President Trump lit up ABC after a tense exchange in the Oval Office when ABC's Mary Bruce pressed him on why he hasn't simply ordered the DOJ to release the Epstein files. Rather than waiting on Congress, he blasted her question and her attitude, calling her a terrible reporter. Bruce raised the issue while Trump met with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Her question came the same day the House voted 427-1 to require the administration to release the files, with the Senate unanimously backing the measure shortly thereafter. Trump didn't get direct answer on why he hasn't ordered the release himself. Instead, he repeated that he has nothing to do with it. Epstein tossed in the familiar line that he kicked Epstein out of his club many years ago for being a sick pervert. He also labeled the broader Epstein scandal a hoax, accusing ABC of being part of it. From there on, he went full blast. Trump said ABC's fake reporting and is so bad that the network should lose their broadcasting license, and even suggested that the FCC Brandon Carr should take a look. Carr previously threatened ABC's license over remarks from the Jimmy Kimmel Show. I have to tell you, I mean, and here's the thing. I can understand to an extent not liking questions that people come up with. And I can understand getting frustrated about being asked the same damn thing over and over again. Those things I understand. But when you go as far as saying we should take a look at your broadcast license because there's something that one of your reporters or one of your hosts said that I do not like, that's fucking idiotic. I mean, let's just be realistic on what it is. I understand controversy creates cash, but that ain't going to get you any brownie points. I don't care what side of the aisle you stand on. That's just not something that you do. I mean, unless you're just doing something totally out of left field, but a question, woo, or a comment, woo. I mean, I understand. I mean, I just don't understand some things. And that falls into that category that makes absolutely no sense to me.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so continuing down that path, President Trump signed the Jeffrey Epstein Transparency Act and ordering the Justice Department to release all unclassified files from Epstein's investigations within 30 days. This marks a major reversal. He fought this bill just a week earlier, but now says that releasing the files will expose Democrats connected to Epstein. The DOJ must publish the files online in a searchable, downloadable format, but still allowed to withhold anything that compromises ongoing investigations or violates victim privacies. Attorney General Pam Bondi says that they'll release what they can while protecting victims. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I will tell you, when this report hits, it's going to be one of those things that people are going to be like, what the hell's going on? And they're going to wonder how many people are implicated inside of this thing. And listen, I don't know. I think that the world will be much different depending on, how much stuff is seen, how much stuff cannot be seen, all the fun stuff that you would care and not care to know all at the same time. So just some stuff to think about. So there you go. Okay, so let's get into this one right away. Some other stuff. An Australian inmate, Andrew McKinchie, is suing to overturn a Vegemite ban in Victoria's prisons. He claims that he's denying him access to the beloved yeast spread that violates his human rights to enjoy Australian culture. Guaranteed under the state human rights charter. Why the ban exists. Vegemite has been banned in Victoria's 12 prisons since 2006. Officials say that the inmate once used it to mask drugs orders from sniffer dogs. So you had drugs, I guess, and it contains yeast. They fear that it could be used to make jailhouse booze. Vegemite manufacturers has long denied that the yeast can brew anything. What Andrew wants, he's asking for the court to rule, is that he's being denied his cultural rights and authorities aren't providing food adequate for his well-being. The case heads to trial next year. Victims' advocates are blasting the lawsuit as tone deaf, calling it offensive that a convicted murderer is fighting for sandwich privileges that victims' families struggle to support. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about for sure as we are looking at the whole thing. It's kind of weird as we are talking, no doubt there. Anyways, a delivery driver at Amazon Depot in Derby notices the dashboard warning light and popped the hood, only to discover that fox hiding inside of the engine compartment. The RSPCA sent an inspector, Hershey Bowl, who carefully shifted the fox into a safe position and then pulled her out. Turns out the warning lights lit up because the fox had chewed through some of the wires. The young fox suffered only minor tail wounds and small burns to her back leg. A vet treated her, and then she's expected to make a full recovery. Once healed, she'll be released to the wild. Rescuers say that she's lucky being stuck in a hot engine, and it ended not so badly. I mean, it could have ended terribly if you really think about it. So the dashboard warning check engine was check for wildlife is what it sounds like when it's all said and done. No doubt about that.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
So I have a question for you. If you had $12.1 million, what would you do with it? No, like seriously, what would you do with it? $12.1 million. It's a lot of money. Well, listen to this. A fully functional 18-karat gold toilet, yes, a real working throne, created by Italian artist Maurizio Catalan, sold for $12.1 million at Salisbury. The piece, titled America, mocks the ultra-wealthy with the message that whether you eat filet mignon or gas station nachos, everyone ends up in the same place on the can. The toilet was one of the two crafted in 2016. The other famously appeared at Guthingham, which once offered to lend the president instead of Van Gogh. That version was later stolen from the Buckingham Palace in England and likely melted down. The surviving toilet spent weeks on display in Salisbury before its jaw-dropping sale. So $12 million for a toilet. That's one way to flush your money, I guess, if you really think about it, when it's all said and done. Anyways, with that being said, it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's do it.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, some main story time as you and I get to hang out and do the stuff that we get to do. And let's talk about it. Because listen again, day before yesterday, they're talking about single point failure systems on a national scale as you were looking at Cloudflare, with some of the services that they provide failing across the country because it was set up in a way that only one thing could actually fail and boom, trigger the whole system.
Duh.
So here's my question for you. Currently inside of your workplace, do you have anything that is a single point failure system? Think about it for a moment. It's not as uncommon as you think. We set these things up with not much depth. We don't set these things up for them to have all these protocols in place. And I look at it and I kind of chuckle because it's one of those things that can really throw you off when it first starts. It can really throw you off when you start taking a gander-ander at it and go, hey, what is going on here? And the reason that I'm talking about this is because I want you to think about single point failure systems. And then I want to kind of reverse it for a moment. And I want you to think about something from a different scale altogether. You are aware that all of the safety systems and the way that cars are manufactured is for them to be used as a component, that the belief is that a car can be in an accident 100% of the times, or a wreck, however you want to word it. So they believe that there is 100% believe. There's a belief that 100% of the time that car will get into an accident. That's how they're made. That's why some of the systems trigger other systems inside of your car. And if you really start taking a look at some of the highlights of a vehicle, you will notice that the center aspect of the whole thing is holding the driver in place with their seatbelt. The seatbelt triggers everything else from that particular point on. If you don't have the seatbelt, a lot of the other stuff kind of fails in the way that it goes. Now, think about it for a moment. If you're on the visual side with me, you'll see how I'm doing this. But if you have a seatbelt across your chest and it's locked into place, and then all of a sudden you're taking a look around and you're noticing things and you're going, okay, this makes sense. Okay, that doesn't make sense, and so on. At least think about this portion. The seatbelt holds you in place, and automatically when stuff starts happening, either your anti-lock brake system kicks in, your airbags deploy, and your car's doing thousands of other things to make sure that it's the variabilities kind of stay within reason for nothing terrible to occur. I think about it also as well, if you have one of these cars that has thousands of cameras, okay, no car really has thousands of cameras, but has, cameras on it, it starts doing some weird things. Like if you have a car that has a rear camera and it's tied in to the safety systems of the car, and I'm not talking only for backup portions, but if it realizes that you're on the verge of getting hit, it will start doing some things where it'll tense up the car, speed up the car, and so on, if it thinks that it's going to benefit you in the long run. Like I will tell you, I was in a car recently where I noticed that it was almost getting into close to what we would deem a near miss, and the car pulled off by itself for it would not hit the car in front of me. By itself, it did that. And listen, I'm not talking we're in car automation at the moment, that's for sure.
Duh.
But we're talking about these things that you'll have to take a look at and go, do these make sense? Does this work inside of the world of what you're doing? And if you start thinking about single point failure systems, as we had the example with Cloudflare earlier in the week, as we have inside of your workplace with stuff going on, you are aware that that is the worst place to be. Single point failure systems. So if you think about it and you realize that the human operator is the only thing stopping a major catastrophe inside of your workplace, and they are the only resource, human reliability, when it comes to the whole thing collapsing, you might want to reconsider on how that thing is built.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow. It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, here we are still hanging out on the Jay Allen in the Morning Show, also known as the Rated R Safety Show, as we are doing all of our fun stuff No doubt about that. It is 44 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out. This one right here that you're hearing in the background is called Can't Tune. Take a listen. Oh, yes, I would love to be able to tell you where to find it, but it was built right here internally. So can't really tell you where to go. Take a listen. Yeah. You know, I love me some music. I'm sure at some point we'll start releasing some of this stuff. I think we will.
The mirror shows a ghost, I know.
Yeah. There you go.
Reflections of the undertow.
I know. I get so carried away sometimes.
The void to let me sleep. But even silence cuts too deep.
Okay, so let's get back into the move and the groove of the things that are going on here inside of the world of the multiverse, because it's always a good time when we do that. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you about in my lifetime, and that is about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to the help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, go all the way to the far right-hand side, Find Help, and then you'll see information related to addiction, anxiety, depression, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. There you go. That's it. That is all the stuffer-uffers. So there you go. Inside of the world of the multiverse. It's kind of the way that it works there. So what do you think? Worthwhile? I definitely think so. No doubt about that as we are talking. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk real quick about some other stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is what we do as we are hanging out. So why don't we talk about some stuff that is not normally mentioned, and we will do that in regards of what is going on. So scientists just dug into the world's oldest makeout session and discovered that kissing is way older than your awkward high school memories. Somewhere between 17 and 21 million years ago, they built a kissing family tree by studying mouth-to-mouth, non-aggressive behavior in all kinds of species: wolves, polar bears, prairie dogs, albatrosses, chimps, bonobos, orangutans, and even one gorilla group. The behavior shows up to so broadly that researchers say that it traces back to shared ancestors of humans and great apes millions of years ago. Human chimps and bonobos all kiss today, so odds are good that our ancient relatives did too. Neanderthals probably puckered up as well, thanks to mouth bacteria that they carried that spreads through saliva. As for kissing evolved, no one fully cracked that code. The theory goes it may have begun simply by grooming, or it became a primal health check, letting early apes assess the mates up close. So what do you think? I mean, I'm sure that people always say that there is some awkwardness when it comes to kissing, but I think that takes it all to a different level. So there you go. Anyways, let's continue talking. A food ranking from Chow Hound put Walmart's pumpkin pie as the absolute bottom of a 6-pie taste test.
Duh.
And the reviews were brutal. One taster said that the pie tin was greasy. The pie split down the middle. The flavor delivered weird sour aftertaste. And that's a rough day for a dessert that's supposed to be the star of Thanksgiving. Other reviewers online echoed the same vibe: mushy yet somehow dry, off tasty, barely any real appeal of flavor of pumpkin, and generally a pie that would have a holiday god shaking their heads. Several say that one to avoid entirely. The consciousness is that Walmart's pumpkin pie isn't just underwhelming, it's the black sheep of Thanksgiving dessert aisle. If the need that the store bought a option, people suggest sticking to Walmart's other bakery hits like the iced lemon loaf, and letting someone knows what they're doing handle the pumpkin pie, preferably your grandmother. So something to think about as we are talking. Anyways, let's talk about some things that are a little bit more positive in this life. Let's bring some John Smalls in and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Paul. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than one you're capable of living." Very cool quote. If you have the same chances of winning or losing when you aim high or when you aim low, why in the world would you ever aim low? But people do this all the time. They work hard to please a boss they don't really like, at a job they don't like, for a company they don't even like, doing things they don't like to do to get a paycheck that barely covers their expenses. Now, I understand we all have to do something, but why not aim higher? Find something you like to do, then find a way to do it.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Israeli warplanes hammered Hezbollah strongholds deep in southern Lebanon, killing at least a dozen militants and wounding civilians in the crossfire.
The strikes targeted underground tunnels and weapon caches near the border town of Nabatia. Hezbollah responded with rocket barrages into northern Israel, prompting thousands to seek shelter. International mediators called for restraint as the conflict risks drawing in more regional players. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
European leaders gathered in Brussels on Tuesday to unveil sweeping new tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles.
The measures impose duties up to 45% on imports, starting next month. Beijing denounced the move as protectionist and vowed countermeasures. Economists warn this could ignite a broader trade war, hiking prices for consumers across the continent. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Amid rising tensions in the South China Sea, Philippine and Chinese vessels clashed near disputed reefs Tuesday, with water cannons fired and a supply boat damaged.
The incident occurred during a routine resupply mission to the second Thomas Shoal. Manila accused Beijing of aggression, while China claimed the Filipinos provoked the encounter. Diplomats from both sides are set to meet urgently to de-escalate the long-simmering territorial row. Chris Anderson reporting.
Heavy rains from tropical storm Rafael battered the southeast coast Tuesday, flooding highways in Georgia and South Carolina.
Rescue teams pulled dozens from rising waters in Savannah and Charleston. Power outages affected over 50,000 homes as winds gusted to 50 miles per hour. Officials urge residents to avoid low-lying areas, with more showers expected through Wednesday morning. Jessica Oakley reporting.
The Supreme Court delved into a heated voting rights dispute Tuesday, weighing whether states can purge voter rolls based on infrequent participation in a case that could reshape elections nationwide.
Justices grilled attorneys on both sides during oral arguments in Washington. The challenge stems from a Georgia law enacted last year. A ruling expected next summer may set precedents for mail-in and absentee ballots. Kyle Norris reporting.
Federal agents arrested a suspected fentanyl trafficker in Los Angeles Tuesday, seizing over 100 pounds of the deadly drug hidden in a truck's tires during a routine border check.
The bust prevented an estimated 20 million lethal doses from hitting streets. The suspect faces charges carrying a minimum 10-year sentence. Authorities credit heightened surveillance along Interstate 5 for the interception. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Health officials reported a spike in measles cases across Midwest states Tuesday, linking outbreaks to unvaccinated travelers returning from international hotspots and urging immediate booster shots.
Over 50 infections confirmed in Illinois and Iowa this week alone. Schools in affected districts closed temporarily for deep cleaning. The CDC warns herd immunity is at risk, with vaccination rates dipping below 90% in some communities, Liam White reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
The station is so big that you don't have to do much to make it work for you. Radio Big.
Okay, so let's start talking right away as we are 54 minutes past the top of the hour about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 1990, the U.S. 68 manned space mission STS-38 Atlantis 7 returns to space. That happened back on this date, back in 1990. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Tonight's the Bills take on the Texans at 8:15 Eastern Time. You can catch that on Prime Video via Amazon, just in case. The U.S. State Department has approved the possible sale of the Patriot air defense launcher to Ukraine worth up to about $105 million. The Defense Security Cooperation Agency, which is within the Department of Defense, delivered the certification of the U.S. Congress, and the agency said that the news released Tuesday. The federal government said yesterday that October's full jobs report will not be released following the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. The Bureau of Labor Statistics said that instead it will unveil its October payroll data, additions to full report of November. Okay, what else? Here is the last night's Powerball numbers. Jackpot was $593 million, 10, 31, 49, 51, 68. Powerball was 19 and Power Play was 2. So there you go. Also, President Trump has offered an update on when Americans may get the $2,000 dividend check from the nation's tariff revenue. While speaking to reporters on Monday, the president said individuals of moderate income could expect dividends probably in the middle of next year. We're going to be issuing dividends later on, somewhere prior to, probably in the middle of next year, a little bit later than that, thousands of dollars for individuals of moderate income, middle income, Trump said. So there you go. Yeah, I guess that's a way to take a look at some moolah that could be heading your way, if you're so enticed to do so. So here's some weird facts today. A tarantula spider can survive for more than 2 years without food. Also, Absurdity Day. That's what the national day is for today. This day was created as a day to recall the note of some of the entirely off the wall and ridiculous things in history in our country and our lives. Absurdity Day is also a day to have fun and do crazy, zany, and absurd things. So there you go. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. You can hang out here on Safety FM with the likes of Sheldon Primus, as he will be talking about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about, to entice, and so on. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, no doubt about that. Anyways, if I can give you words for wisdom of today, take a listen to this. Success is just happiness when you are happy that it is success. So there you go. And if you need some advice for today, here's the one. Use box broth with a splash of white wine. It instantly tastes like you worked way harder than you ever did. Think about it in that way. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
No angels, no machine to save, just the pulse inside the grave, a frequency that